is Katie, the creator of KNF Design. I wanted to first thank you and welcome you to the 12 days of December. For today's craft, we have a fun, cute little face here. I've picked out this cute one for us, and we will be making mini hot chocolate ornaments. If you don't want to hang it on a tree, you could just not attach the string, and then you can put it on like a tier tray or decorate somewhere else in your house. I will show you after we get the vinyl ready to go here. But our cups are these cute little mugs that I got from Hobby Lobby. They are little, so I think I'm going to, let's see if I make my face 1.5 inches. So yeah, it's going to be small. He's an ornament. So that makes it a, that would fit just fine. We want to make sure we have some room for that droopy hot chocolate coming down. Now, since this guy is pretty small, these little dots in his eyes are not going to be fun to try to cut out. So we unglued, and then there's a little tiny one. I'm going to hide that little tiny one and this other really tiny one. And that's still pretty cute without those teeny tiny specks. If you don't want to deal with that one either, I don't blame you, and it's still pretty cute like that. The other thing is, so like my mug is this really pretty blue, and maybe I want his eyes to be blue, and I don't want to mess with trying to place and cut this little white spot. What you can do is select both. You can either slice or subtract. It doesn't look like it did anything, but I'll show you. You can now see through it. With this one, we haven't done anything to. It's two separate pieces. So I'm going to and subtract the eyeball. Now my eyeball's a little out of place. To fix that, let's just use our line tool and line glue. If you don't like the eyebrows, guess what? You can hide those too. I kind of like the eyebrows, so I'm going to keep my eyebrows, and that is all I'm going to do with that face. Now, if you are my VIP members, I have tons of fun faces for you to pick from. You'll be able to move the eyes around and switch them with other faces, things like that. You can also the eyes, I did both methods. So you'll have eyes. Let me show you actually, hold on. So these are all the VIP ones that we have. I have two sets of eyes, ones that have dots. So these are the ones I just showed you that have the white spots separate. And oops. And then this one is the one that you can see through it. And now we can see through the cheek. So there's her little face there. There's a face. And then it's extra eyeball options there. There's a face, extra eyeball options, extra eyeball options. So that way you don't have to do that little extra cut. But lots of fun faces to pick from. And actually, let's do this. So let's say you like this mouth, but this face. So you can just change it. Maybe you want to give her eyebrows. you can do all kinds of mix and matching with these, which is fun. And if you don't want to make your own chocolate drip, you can even cut it out and wrap it around your mugs. Those will need to be sized well. There is one last thing I want to do with this little guy, and that is to make it easier to place him on my cup. I like the spacing he's at. I don't want to have to mess with that. So I'm going to go over here and hit attach. These little pink sheets, they're fine. I'm not going to attach them. They'll be fine like that. So I'm just attaching the black. You could have attached the pinks if you wanted, not to the black, but just the same colors to each other. If I attach the pink to the black, it will change it black because then it'll try to cut it all on the same mat. And the pink and the black's going to cut on separate mats, so we can't attach them together, but we could attach the same colors together. So I'm just going to make it and cut out my vinyl, and then we'll take a look at what else we need for this cute little mug. For today's gift, I decided to bring back a favorite, but in miniature. So if you've seen my channel, you might have seen, it's an oldie, but these really cute hot chocolate faces mugs. This one actually opens up for an ornament. I don't think I'm going to let it open up or attach it. But these were fun. I made it with my husband, and I'll show you how to do the drips and the quip stuff on top, and then our faces. This face here is for my VIPs. I have just one fun one for this cup that you can download down below, again for the 24 hours. Now these little mini cups I found at Hobby Lobby. They have them, it seems like, for every holiday. This one I think got left over because of that little chip, but that's okay because we're gonna add that chocolate to it. So it will get covered up anyway. So it was originally $3, but I bought it, I don't even remember which holiday this color came from. It might have, I think it was the like fall, I believe. I mean, it makes sense, there's pumpkins on the tag, so I think fall is when I got this one last year. And because of the chip, it was left, so it was like 75% off, maybe even 90% off. I only paid a couple cents, I think, for this cup. So keep an eye out for them after holidays is a great time. Oh, it's only $3. It's not a huge expense. So what do you need? You need lightweight spackle. This container comes from Dollar Tree. You don't need a whole bunch, and that's going to be for a whipped cream. You can also use some caulk, and that I have also seen at Dollar Tree. This one here was done with the lightweight spackle, and I have a pumpkin one I didn't get out. That one was made with the caulk, and so you can go to my website to compare the two. But I had this on hand, so that's why I'm using this one. And then you need piping tips. So we'll put this in here, and we'll pipe it out with one of the piping tips. This came from Dollar Tree as well. They have other versions, so just any of them that you find. It looks like I used this one before, and they just do a little bit different of a piping, and it screws on there. So just pick ones you like. Do not use ones that you will use in the kitchen. This stuff will make it no longer edible. Then for chocolate, you need to use Mod Podge. In the VIP version, there is also some decals. It's a file of the drippings, and you can cut it out of vinyl and add it if you don't want to make your own drips. So I'm going to
do a little bit of the matte Mod Podge this time. With our first version, it was a glossy Mod Podge. I was thinking, hot chocolate, I do like the gloss, but it probably isn't supposed to be glossy. So we'll see. Why not? We'll try it and do the matte version this time. You can do whichever one you want. And then we need to color it with a little bit of brown. This is just a simple brown. Thought it looked like a nice chocolate brown. And then a little Dixie cup to mix those in. And then my silicone brushes. You may have also heard me talk about these. I love these. You can dip it and let it dry, and then it just wipes clean. And I think it works really well for any project that paint, Mod Podge, different glues. They're just really nice, and I like the thin tips. It actually comes, this is just a few of them. It's a whole pack, and they have all different types. So let's start with the drips first, and then once that dries, we'll do the whipped cream topping, let that dry, and then we'll add our fun face, and then we'll just put a little string on the side so it'll kind of be hanging a little crooked, which will be cute. So you also need that string to hang it. For the drippings, I like to use the Mod Podge to kind of thicken it up, and then the paint is to color it. So I'm just gonna put that's probably way more paint than I needed because there's not a lot of drips needed here. So if it seems to be a little too runny, add more Mod Podge. That should thicken it up. If it's too thick and not running, add a little bit more paint. And remember, Mod Podge is a little bit whiter when it first comes out, but then it gets it clears. So this color will look darker once the Mod Podge is dry. There's two ways you could do it. You can first apply it and just kind of encourage it to drip on its own, or you can create your own drips. Remember not to go too far down because we do want to put a face. So here is a hot chocolate. That one dripped quite a bit. One thing I noted as I was watching, like this one started to drip quite a bit and I didn't want it to go all the way down. So as it dried, I just took my paintbrush and just kind of poured them up a little bit. Just did that with it, and that kind of stopped them from dripping down further. But that is what it looks like. I didn't do it inside because that won't matter. but if you notice one dripping too much, then you can do that. I do like that it came down like that. We'll put our face here. That side's gonna look really cute. So I'm really happy with my hot chocolate drips. I like this kind of matte look. It looks more chocolatey, I think. But now for the fun part, which is the whipped cream. If you have seen any of these I've done in the past, you know they get quite messy for me. So let's see how this one goes. So first thing we need is something to set the whipped cream on, kind of a base. I like to use cardboard. So I flip my cup upside down and just draw my circle here. Now, if you want it to sit on top, it'll go right at that edge. So make sure you cover that edge with the whipped cream, or you could cut this just slightly smaller so it kind of sits in. If you notice the edge, it comes out, so it'll fit nicely in there if we cut it just a smidge shorter. You can use a box cutter. I think, since this was kind of cutting when I was working it with my pen, yeah, my scissors are gonna cut this nicely. I'm gonna cut it on the line first, and then I'll cut slightly smaller after. So see, it fits right at the edge, and so if we put it like that, you're gonna see all those edges unless we cover it up with the whipped cream. But I'm gonna make it go inside this time. Just make sure you don't go too much. Now that we have a cardboard that sits in there nicely, we can add the whipped cream. I'm gonna try to make this the nice side so it's the front, because that's where I want the face to go. And I'm gonna be doing some caulk for mine. You can do lightweight spackle, and that's what I used on that bigger cup over there. They both come from Dollar Tree, so the same price. This will be way more than I need for this little guy. Trying to remember, I think I used 1 tube for the big one. I know I used about 1 tube of, or 1 container of the lightweight spackle for the big cups to give you a measurement size. If you do the lightweight spackle, you will need a little bit of water mixed in with it because it's really thick, and then you put it in a piping bag with your piping tip. This is kind of nice. It is a little bit of a shinier look, plasticky shinier look to it, but it is nice that it's already in your tube. Trust me, it can still get very messy because we're gonna kind of makeshift a piping situation here. But it is nice that you don't have to deal with getting the piping bag and all of that. And sometimes, if you've watched my other ones, you'll see my bags have exploded on me before. So up to you which one you want to use. And if you want to see the differences of those, head to my website and you can watch those. There's a hot chocolate mug, and that's with the lightweight spackle, and then there's a pumpkin mug that has a little pumpkin logo. It says like pumpkin spice on it, and that was with the caulk. So you can search in the upper right hand corner for those. So first you got to take off the tip, and we're gonna need to cut our tip. Kind of just judge about how much you think you'll need, but we're gonna hold it in place like that, and then we're gonna squeeze it on. Typically with the bigger ones, I will put a piece of paper and attach it to the cardboard just to have some filler on the inside. But because this guy's pretty small, and I have a lot, I'm just going to do the whole thing in the whipped cream and not that little paper filler. I used quite a bit of the tube just to know, I mean, I still have probably half of it left, but just to give you a reference on how much you might use or how many of these cups you can get out of it. I could go a little bit taller, but I kind of like the smaller whipped cream and how it's looking. And so I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry just like that. And I'll see you probably couple hours is all it needs, but I might even wait for a day. And we'll just add our face and our string. Whew. So after I set my whipped cream down to dry, you might notice it looks a little different than when I set it down to dry. It's a lot bigger. I don't know if Dollar Tree changed their formula, if it was an old container of caulk that I got. It was the only one left in the store, so I thought I was lucky that I found it. Maybe it was bad and that's why it was the only one left, but I noticed about an hour after I looked to check on it to see how it was drying, and it was just a puddle dripping all down the side, so I kind of had to clean it up, and I just kept working with it, and it just, for some reason, it was not holding a shape like normal caulk should and does. So again, I probably would either use the lightweight spackle next time, or caulk from like an actual hardware store. I don't know if I would trust the Dollar Tree one anymore. It's worked in the past, but for some reason this one did not. And even, so I built it up on this mountain here and went around it. It started melting again, so I got out a heat gun and kind of heated it so it dried at least enough so it stopped melting down. I mean, I had it this high and it just went into a puddle again, and I had to redo it again for a third time. So it's even still a little melty here, but we have something. It is ginormous, but it'll work. Just so you know what had to happen, and now as you can see, since it's so big, it does not fit in a little cup anymore. So I'm going to rotate it till I like a certain side. And then I am just going to glue it to my hot cup. So it is on there well. I might go back and just touch up some of this chocolate area. And then we also need to make our little face. It's really heavy now. But yeah, let's go cut out the vinyl, and I might just use a little, once this is fully dry, I'll just take my brown paint and cover up some of those strips, which will make it look a little bit more like more drips. So now we need to apply a face. I did paint that little bit of hot glue that seeped through, and it just looks like another bit of hot chocolate, so that looks great. It's still wet though. For the face, we will take some transfer tape. This tape has been used many times, but it still has some good stick to it, I think. We'll see here. So just varnish the back. Make sure it's on there well. and slowly peel back. If some of it is not sticking, you can use your weeding tool to help hold it down. There we go. Beautiful. Apply the face, press it down. You can even varnish it. And they're the cute little face. I love it. We also have some cheeks here. You could do the transfer technique that I just did, which is the recommended method. But I personally, this is just me for these small little details. I like just to peel them off of my sheet and apply them like a little sticker. Oops. And there's a cute little hot chocolate guy. I think he looks cute. You could have added some little sprinkles and things, but I decided not to do that this time. Last time I used some clay. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look if it was polymer clay or air dry clay. I want to say it was air dry clay, but both would work to make my little sprinkles. You could do glitter. I've done that before. But different things to add to your hot chocolate, but I decided to keep him nice and simple. Now, you could just set him on a table or a tier tray just like that, or you can take some, this is baker's twine. You could also do some ribbon or something like that, tie a nice little knot, and then he'll hang. Now that his head is very heavy, it's not quite going to, it'll want to go that way. So what we could do is tie a knot and then apply some glue to hold the string in place so he hangs upward like that. And I just thought the baker's twine was a nice touch for this. But I don't know if I want to hang him actually. I might just put him next to my other one. But if you do decide to hang him like an ornament, I would just put some glue there to hold your ribbon. Otherwise, he's going to end up going upside down. But with the little glue, it'll hold it. But there he is. Gave us just a little bit of trouble there, but he's cute. So it makes up for it, right? And I just touched the wet paint. So I hope you had fun crafting this cute little guy. You could make the mini or you could make the big ones. You have lots of faces to choose from when you buy the VIP, or just this one here is really cute in the free version. Or if you don't want faces, I personally think they look cuter on faces, and I have used these faces a million times, so that alone will be worth it. I just recently made little ice cream cones, which were really cute. And I've put these specific faces on a little plant, the pot with the succulent, and there was some marshmallows. We've made marshmallow s'mores. Those were really fun. So I really like these faces. They just add a little bit of extra cuteness to it. But I'm really happy with those chocolate drips and how it finally turned out. I hope you had fun crafting today's gift idea. and I'm sure whoever gets this gift will absolutely love it. Thanks for crafting with me, and I'll see you tomorrow for another cute and fun craft. Bye for now.